once, but I knew you
Recording is on.
Wait, say it one more time.
I knew you just said like maybe my mom would be okay, but my other two sisters wanted to come, but I told them it'd be too much for you.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot, but no, he's just acknowledging. He's talking about more girls, more girls, more girls. That's why I was just like, are there more than that? Is that how many are there? Okay, cool, 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 cool. So before we get into this, let me kind of tell y'all a couple of things. One, I'm going to kind of explain how I do this or how I think I do this. Okay. I really don't get it. It just happens. So number one, I have a pen. I also have a notepad. All I'm going to be doing the entire time is I'm literally just going to be, well, here's a lot of them. All I do is scribble the entire time. So it allows my body to do one thing while my brain is doing something else. So if you think I'm taking notes, I'm not. I'm literally just moving my hand. You may see that I look a little spacey there for a little bit. It's because I have to take my mind and like move it out. And so if I kind of look like I'm being a derp, I am. But I will, I'll let you know stuff totally. What I really want you guys to do, and I think you've done a really good job, is kind of like bringing him forward. Like you still definitely act around like that he hangs out around you guys. Like you definitely keep him present and in the moment and around and just always wanting him to be there. It's not like you've forgotten about him or kind of pushed him to the side, which is cool because he feels very fresh here, which is nice. He is recently back. I'm gonna feel me for a while. Did y'all not feel him for a little bit?
Um, I haven't really noticed anything, but my mom, I mean, she feels them all the time. I just try to like zone my mind sometimes.
Cool, because he says that he was. It's almost like he was getting stronger, which goes along with like my thing that I've felt for a very long time. Like the first few weeks, the first couple of weeks when they pass, they're pretty strong. They hang out. It's almost like you can smell them, feel them. You know, you get all these super hardcore emotions of like feeling that you're around them, like dreams, everything like that. And then it kind of goes like null and void for a little bit, and then they come back, and it's like better than ever. So we're back in the better than ever stage. He did say, and this is during when I was doing meditation, and I haven't had this in quite some time. I don't know. He said, I walk with Jesus. And I don't hear that ever. And so go back and watch all of my sessions. That has never been said. And I can tell you that I've probably said it twice. But it's like,
Maybe now.
what whatever it went to and how he passed, and we'll get into that. Like, I mean, obviously we weren't fully ready to go, but at the same time, it's like we were okay. He said he did things that were G. Did he work with his hands? Did he work with his hands? Did he like build or something like that? Because he's like comparing him to him or something like that. What did he do?
He was like a construction, like that's all he did.
Okay, perfect. Because he's talking about like him doing woodwork or like I guess he was a carpenter. I don't know. And then he's talking about how he's like, oh, I'm this. I'm like, okay, cool. And then he's talking about he does show. When I was asking him what happened to him, he did like this earlier, and he said no good, or he's like no good, like did like that. He's not a big talking person to me. He's more of a signs and symbol. I think as we like draw him more, that it'll be more, which will be good. He said, no, you haven't been married that long. Are they in their 20? Have they been married for like over 20 years?
29.
Cool, perfect. Okay, I'm like, you're not that old yet. Like, what are you talking about? Maybe I guess they're like their parents because he's showing me that it's like antiquated, and I'm like, okay, my parents were married for 40 years, and he's cutting them by half, and I'm like, they've been married for wow. Okay, hang on. Right there, right there. Did he die? Wait. Okay, hold on. Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. Are you in your house, Mom?
We're at my apartment.
Okay. What is he saying? Why is he saying? Did he die at the house? Did he die at the house?
Well, he died at where they lived, and I had told her before we started, I go, you don't want to go over there? Maybe it'll be like better,
Yeah.
could like connection wise. But she's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do it there. He was always here too, so we just stayed here.
Okay, okay, cool, 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 cool. Okay, because he says, I died there, I died there, I died there. And I'm like, but I'm like, there is not hospital, there is not medical, like, there is just, I
Yeah,
died.
it was
Oh,
their residence spot.
their
Yeah.
residents. Okay, cool, 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 cool. So it's very interesting with him being new. We're going to get these little quips when they get older, like let's say 2 years from now when he's passed, it's almost like they, you know, when you like learn a new language, you can say words like, you know, I know Spanish, but I can read it very well and understand it, but I can't say it a whole lot. So I'll be like, perro, gato, you know, the whole 9 yards. So it's almost like that when they go into spirit. He's trying to feed me information, and it's going to be very blip. But with what I do, you can kind of get the whole picture.
Probably Spanish because he was Hispanic. So.
Is that why? Okay, okay,
But,
okay.
but he could speak more English than anything.
Yeah, hang on. It's just how they talk when they're new. It's just how they talk. Even my dad did like that. Hang on, hang on. Hold on. Grandma.
Mom and dad.
Did they have? There's three people. It's like an older female and then a male. Maybe that's parents. I don't know.
His sister passed
It,
away.
that's
Mom,
it.
dad. His dad was years back, but his mom and his sister barely.
Okay, cool. Because there's a female, there's the two, and then there's the female. So that's that. And the female's considerably younger than the parents. Hang on.
Is he with them?
He talks about them. I haven't seen them yet. We can bring them forward though too as well. Hang on.
And we can visit my dad, but I'll
Okay,
just.
okay, okay. Yeah, no, he talks about them. When they talk about them, that means they've seen them, they've been around them, they hang out with them, like it's all there. So, but he is talking about so painful. He really had some suffering in his passing. He said it was painful. A lot of times they don't talk about if it's painful and if it hurts. They don't really talk about that. I get a whole lot of goosebumps right here. If I didn't have freckles, you'd be able to see all of them.
He was really. I mean, dialysis. He had a hampered leg. He couldn't do anything.
That's why he said he goes like this. Like earlier when I was in meditation, he's like sitting here outside in like a garage or something like that. And he goes, this, which is my side, like, this is no good. And I was like, how did you die? Usually when they have cancer, they go to like a particular area. And he's like, mm-mm. I'm like, okay, hang on. He just feels full. He just feels. I'd snap. He says he'd snap at her. Would he snap at her? Okay. Because he's talking about saying I'm sorry. It's a feeling. It's not verbal, but he's talking about that. And it's like this all the time. And he's very upset about it, but he's talking about how he just does not feel good. Because he said she was a good woman. He goes, without her, I'd die. So it's him acknowledging like how much she did for him, with him, all the time. Literally, that was oh, he's wonderful. Hang on. He's learned so much. He's learning so much. Hang on. Which one of his family members died of cancer? Or one of like a hardcore long-term illness? It degrades us.
His dad, Parkinson's. Maybe his grandpa, but I didn't know that.
Okay. Hang on. Because there's somebody in here and he's talking about, he's comparing himself to a male that had a lot of suffering as well, like a long term going on. And he's talking about how.
I mean, his brother has cancer right now, but he's still here. But they only gave him like 2 weeks.
Okay. Pause. Okay. Hold on. Wow. He said he's just like me. Too stubborn to let it So he knew he had cancer. He knew he had something wrong for quite some time.
No, actually, they
The
just found
brother,
out.
do we know?
I think they had said he just found out. I don't know if that's true. Oh, it's
Was he
just.
not having issues and pain that entire time? Because he's saying that he had issues and he was ignoring it.
It just started, I think, unless he was ignoring it.
Hang on. Is it in his abdominal region as well? Is this cancer in his abdominal region as well? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Is it his younger brother? Cool. Because he says, I'll see him soon. Like hand. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, but don't take that as he's okay. We can. I was gonna say, don't take that as him dying soon, but that's the thing. Take it as he'll be there more.
I'm not. We
Okay,
don't talk.
cool. Cool. Okay, because some people freak out, and I'm like, use it as a comfort. Don't use it as a scary thing. Okay.
I don't have any bad ill against him, but we're just rather.
Y'all just aren't close. Y'all just aren't close. No, I totally get it. I totally get it. Hang on. Ah. Hang on. Who are all the didn't want them around me? Who are all the okay, wait, she's a grandma
Yes.
now? Okay, cool. There's a lot of them.
9 grandkids.
Jesus Christ. Good job. Wow. We have 2. Good job. Hang on. Hang on. Newest one in. Who's the one that's still the baby? Is there one that's still the baby? Like the 2-year-old baby? Who is it?
Babies. Addie and Daniel.
Okay, because we're still able to hold them. He's talking about being able to hold them. Huh?
Baby Jack's another baby.
Okay, hang on. Hang on. Are somebody pregnant? Or are they about to get pregnant? Or do we know or do they want to get pregnant?
No. Maybe Karen. I don't know.
Wait for this year. Okay, just pause. Just keep that there. It's a female, though, whenever it happens. Okay? It's by surprise. Okay? Mom, I'm sorry. I'm just going to, you're going to have 10 at some point. Like, that's going to be it. Okay? Well, it's not, I don't feel like it's coming from you. I don't feel like it's coming from you. I don't feel like it's coming from you. I can tell you that for sure. There's not a child that is placed in your womb. I know she's like, yes! Hang on. Right? Hold on. Oy, oy. Okay, now we're going to get into like some deeper stuff, okay? So we're going to go into like how we passed, the feelings of what happened, and we're going to go into how we felt before, after, kind of like get into the psyche of who he is and where he was. He said, he goes, Amy, I was so, he had an accent. He had a hardcore accent. Okay. He said, Amy, I was so wrinkly, but I was so puffy. And I said, okay. And I go, well, how does that work? He goes, I felt like a balloon. So obviously we had a lot of pressure. I said, okay, hang on. Didn't want to die. He said, I didn't want to die, but I felt like it. I was ready. I was ready. Hang on. Didn't want them to do anymore. Test. Okay, didn't want them to do any more tests. What is it?
Tess is my sister.
Really? Okay. Okay. That's what he's just like, that's exactly what he says. I'm like, okay. Sorry, I'm going to say stuff like this. And so you can catch it. File. Great. Hang on. Who wanted him to fight? He said they wanted me to fight. They wanted me to fight more. They wanted me to fight more.
My mom.
It's like, if you want to fight more. He's like, that's done. I was like, okay. Okay.
Yeah, me and my sister.
And He said he left with his dignity, though. Hang on. Okay, I'm trying to get. I'm getting something, and I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about. He feels like he's talking about backing himself into a corner, but then he's also talking about there's everybody there. Did y'all leave him alone to die?
The morning he left, I think we all we left at 3 in the morning, 3:30 at night, and he was still breathing, but very faintly.
Okay.
So then in the morning, they called me my sisters were already there. They called me at 10. Hurry, come, he's not breathing very good. So right when I got there, he literally took one and that was it.
Last breath. Okay. Because he's showing, and I'm asking about y'all. I'm like, were they there? Were they there? He's talking about mom being there consistently. Mom's there consistently? Is your mom there all the time?
Oh, all the time.
Okay, cool. Because he's talking about constantly being an annoyance, not in a bad way, in a good way. Always there, holding, talking, sweet nothing. Oh, all the time. Hang on. Patting my head, everything, praying. Was he Catholic? Were they Catholic?
Not.
Or did we have somebody come in to pray over him? Do you know about any of that?
We tried to, but it didn't happen.
Okay.
They were, but they didn't make it.
They were, but they didn't make it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm Catholic, but we prayed, though, the rosary, or Our Father, remember the night before we left?
Okay, because they always talk about prayer being a big thing, and there's some people that die without it, and they don't really miss it, but then there's people that die with it, it at least happened, and it's a big thing. It's almost like a relief, that's kind of how it feels. And so that's the feeling that I'm getting, and I'm like, okay, we all did this thing with him. Hang on. Stayed up all night. So she was up with him all night. Hang on. Took my stuff home. Do you still have, did we take some of his medical things home? Do we have some of his medical things still?
Everything. I mean, he was in and out the hospital forever. So she literally has the whole hospital at her house.
Are you serious?
Gowns, socks, his bed, a hospital bed, a wheelchair.
Really? Okay, sorry. He's showing me plastic nebulizer masks and gowns and and I'm like, where's all this coming from? He's like, she has them, she collects them. Hang on. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, the one thing I was laughing about earlier, and I forgot to tell you because I went on to something else, is he said, he was kind of flirtatious, and he goes, well, if you wouldn't have seen me now, you would have think I was a handsome man.
I was wondering if he would do that with you because that's how he was.
You would think I was a handsome man like this. And I'm like, sir, I need you to calm down. Chill.
So on the other side, is he 100% or how?
So it goes back and forth. So remember, he's not in a physical form. Okay. So he's not in this flesh and blood, but the way that he presents himself, he's an energy. Okay. Just as you are not your body. Your mom is not your body. The best way I can explain it is whenever, let's say mom calls you, right? And she's on the phone with you. You're listening to her voice. You still know it's mom, right? You still know you love her and she loves you. She doesn't have to physically be there to express her love, but you feel it. It's the same way as that. That is who they are. But in order for me and you to recognize who they are, they show themselves in their physical form. Are they weighed down by the bullshit to which they went through? No, not anymore. And so a lot of times they'll show themselves, especially what he's presenting to me right now. He feels very hot in his early to mid 40s. That's how he feels very hot. And then he says, you should have seen me when I was a lot younger, like 18, 19. And then he says he was too skinny then. And I said, okay, I get it. That's fine. Um, see? And so it's almost like a shifting. It's like if you can even see like a video, it's like we shift to this, we shift to this, we shift to this. But we don't like to acknowledge that this is who we were because we're not that person at the end of our life. It was just a phase that it went through, just like taking a shower. You're not a person that just takes a shower all the time, but you took a shower and now you're here, right? So it's just a phase all the way through. Hang on, hang on. So you do the same thing. He goes, my daughter, she holds on to all of my stuff. She collects it like it's nothing. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Praise for my soul to be safe. Praise for my soul to be safe. His soul is safe, by the way. You know that, right? Like he's cool. Okay. Okay. Cool. That's what he says. Praise for my soul to be saved. I'm like, it's you're fine. He's like, I know I'm fine. I'm like, okay. He goes, he said, Amy, I had some hard times in my life. Hold on. Yeah. Was he does have a couple of regrets. He says, I wasn't so nice to my wife. And I said, it's fine. He goes, but I think she loved me. I said, I think she loved you too. He goes, I did my best. He goes, nice kids, my kids needed me. Hold on. He goes, I let my gaze get the best of me. Okay, so I don't know what's up with him, like looking other ways. I don't know what that is. Y'all can interpret that a little bit. He goes, invite buddy from outside. Would he barbecue a lot or something like that?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Really? Okay. Because when he's talking to me right now, he's like on like this little pit, and he's talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is what it's like sitting there having a beer with the boys, like discussing all this stuff. Like that's kind of how it feels. Like me sitting in the garage talking to them. Um, I know they put you in places
Amazing.
they put you in places that they're used to being in, and then they talk to you that away. Hang on. Do you tell me? Hold on. Let me see. Oh, no, it's on. Can you hear me now? Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Tell me about that now. Can you hear me now? Weird. You can't hear me at all. Maybe. See, and I can't hear you now. Hang on. Let me try one thing. Oh, we're so good.
Recording is on.
Please come back. You're back. Are you with me? No. Oh my God, you're there. Say hi.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know. I was sitting here. It's been recording. It's okay. Maybe the Wi-Fi went out. Maybe so. I don't know.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. A lot of times, another thing with it is like if the Wi-Fi is not strong enough or the bandwidth goes down for a little bit, it can cause it to not be able to pick it up on one side or the other. And so I went through and I tested it, did it, and it was working. No, don't you leave me. Are you back? There
Right.
you go. Okay. Okay. So another thing with that, you'll see you're gonna get the whole recording. I'm sitting here, I'm like, please come back, please come back, please
I
come back.
get you now.
There you go. Well, it's okay. It's okay. You can
Okay.
hear me. I think it may be because of the bandwidth on that side, because it's showing me that I'm at 101 megabits, which is like great, and it says on yours it's 21, so it may not be able to sustain it fully. So it's
Put the
okay.
Wi-Fi back.
Wait, what?
I put the Wi-Fi back on. I don't know if
There,
it was.
there you go. It's okay, baby. As long as you can hear the message, it doesn't matter. Okay?
We were
Cool.
talking about the barbecue. That's the
Yep.
last thing.
Correct. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So with that, one of the things that he was talking about, hold on. We want to get, I made everything. Did he make all of it?
He made everything: chicken, sausage, potatoes.
Everything. He's just like, I made all of this. I'm like, okay, great. Thank you. He's like, you want some? You want some? I'm like, okay. He's like, well, I had one or two beers. He would have one or two beers. He's not a big drinker though, hardcore. Hang on.
Not anymore, but he used to be.
Correct. Because I go, what about, I said, where's the cerveza? Where's the cerveza? I said, what's happening with that? Because, I'm from Houston and so every one of my friends was Hispanic except for me. And I'm like, where's the cerveza? He's like one or two. He's like, not anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Hang on. She would find me passed out. So she would find him passed out.
Oh my gosh.
He says, I go, well, why? Why don't you do it anymore? He goes, when he makes me like go down on the floor, he goes, I couldn't remember. He goes, I'd get up in the morning and he's like, I was too old for that. Hang on. He says, now I'm a grandpa. You can't be a hot young stud anymore. And I'm like, oh my God, will you stop? He's like, but I tried. I'm like, thanks. So that means he had a large sexual appetite too. Mother, that's fine. I'm sorry your daughter is here to see that. But he was kind of a horn dog, which is great because he still is now. Hold on. Gotten her better ring. Did he want to get you a better ring?
He always did.
Okay, because he goes, I could have gotten her a better ring. He's like, I just didn't work hard enough. He goes, it's fine. It's still gold. She still has it. What is it? Why is he showing me? It's just very small and like all together. But he wants it like bigger. He wants it a bigger. It's clustered. He's talking about that. Hang on. Prim and proper. Hang on. We met. Hold on. We met and I thought she was beautiful. Hold on. She didn't know what to do with me. Wait, were y'all like introduced?
By his sister, with his sister.
Okay, cool. Because he's talking about it's not like how I went on a Tinder date with my second husband and I'm like, oh, hi. It's more like you saw him and it's like, oh, okay, cool. This is fine. I like it, but hang on. And he's like, whoa, hang on. He's talking about you had to beat him down. So it's like you had, not in a bad way, but just like how you had to teach him. Hang on. Oh, hang on. All my beautiful daughters. Gave me all my beautiful daughters. Son, hold on. Was there supposed to be one more?
No.
He has a son from a previous, but
okay, cool. Because he's talking about the extra child, and I'm like, where is it? Is there supposed to be one more? Okay, cool.
never really knew him.
Ah, okay, cool. Okay, that works. That fits where that does. Hang on. Mom. Hold on. Did his parents never leave from Mexico?
Yeah, they
Cool.
lived here.
Okay. Hang on.
They were Mexican. They would speak nothing but Spanish, but
Okay, because they're talking to me only in Spanish, like when I'm asking them questions, and I'm like, did we still live there? Kind of like,
yeah, they speak nothing but Spanish.
okay, cool. Kind of like when I have a lot of clients sometimes they're in New England and their family's like from France and they only speak French to me. And I'm like, okay, but then it comes across as English. Hang on. In my head. Hold on. Dad got taken down. So his father died unexpectedly.
He was kind of bedridden for a while.
Yeah. He says he got taken down, so he was here like this, and then he just died. I said, fine. He said, my mom, oh my heart. So mom died after dad?
Yeah, she barely
Not too long.
died like 4 months ago, 5 months.
Really? Okay. Because he goes, mom died. Oh, my heart.
That was his mom. Like, he was her baby.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. He goes, oh, my heart. I said, fine. Hang on. Hit me with her shoe. Would she hit him with her shoe? That was her baby? But why too? Was that a thing when they were younger? Hit him with her shoe?
Mexicans hit kids with anything.
Really? Because he's showing me like it's almost like a slipper, and it's like gah, and I'm like, what is this slipper thing? What are we doing with this? Sorry, like he's talking about how it's like hit you with a slipper and then be very like, oh, I love you, I look up to you, I look up to you. Hang on. He does say that she was the one raising the kids while he was out having a good time. He does with your mom. Your mom is really a strong woman, very strong woman. I don't like, he's talking about flirting though. Was there some sort of like adultery going on with him?
Well,
Him, yeah, he would cut out a lot and still stay there.
He's talking about that. He's talking about, I shouldn't have done it. He says, I shouldn't have done it. And I was like, why? And he said his eyes, the gaze is a big thing. Whenever you re-listen to it, he talks about, I'm sorry about gazing other ways. And he's apologizing for it. He said, I do it right in her face.
Yeah, he would, but my mom did not care.
So that's why she's such a badass. Yeah, I mean, totally. He goes, I do it right to her face, because he goes like this, like it's like a smack to her face.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh. Mom, why don't you leave? Did y'all used to ask her that?
Would we? My grandparents kind of would. Her mom and dad or her sisters, like, leave him, but
She said, I couldn't. No,
wouldn't.
she couldn't.
She wouldn't leave him.
No, because she couldn't. He goes, okay. Okay, that was a whole lot of information at one point. So he says, I go, well, what does it look like for their future? What does it look like for your wife's future? He goes, I kind of had her set up for life. He goes, but not really. He goes, she has a lot of expenses. I said, fine. He's like, just let the kids take care of her. He was like, but she's too proud. And I'm like, oh my God, stop. He's like, why do you think we have kids? And I'm like, okay, I know. It's this whole like argument back and forth. And he goes, but she won't leave her house. Hang on. Did he die? Did he pass in like a main living area, like a front room or something like that?
I don't. Where they live is kind of like a weird building. I don't know. It's just like
it used to be.
It was an old hospital, so they have it like kind of like a motel, something. But
oh, that's cool. Oh, that's okay. Sorry, that's like my inner like history nerd being like, oh, that's so cool. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. That she won't leave it. She won't leave it. Hang on. Here tonight. Wait, do you
I tell her to get an apartment, but she doesn't want to.
that's what she keeps saying. He goes, what? Tell her to sleep there tonight. Tell her to sleep there tonight. And I'm like, she's not. I'm like, they can cuddle. It's fine. And he's like, okay, is it only a 1 bedroom?
Where I'm at?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's me and my husband here, and then my daughters sleep in their room, but she would sleep on the couch when she stays here.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. I'm like, well, why don't they sleep together? He's like, they could cuddle. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Hold on. He says, bless that boy for putting up with 2 women. So your husband's a saint.
I don't know about that.
That's a joke. That's a joke. That's not actually talking. That's a joke. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Oh, there's animosity there. Hang on. Hold on. I don't know. He's talking about you and your mom being together with kids. So I don't know what that has to do with it. I don't know what that has to do with your relationship. I don't know what that has to do with any of that. But he's talking about like your mom being your main support for you and your kids all together versus him being there. So just think about that for a little bit. Keep that there. Hang on. It's about to end. What is about to end? Is your marriage doing okay? Because he says it's about to end. I'm like,
Not really. I don't know. We're good some days. Some days we just.
Telling her stuff about you and him.
he says he doesn't give you the proper care and loving vibe that you need. He's much more dry.
Always.
He's with everything
Always.
else. Mm-hmm. And then he gets very snarky and very assholery whenever you have questions about it. And it makes you feel like you did something wrong and you didn't. And all you want somebody is to care for you. So right now, mom is going to be your best friend. And, at least with dad would just leave. He's not. Husband's just going to be an asshole in front of your face. That's a whole nother thing. So it just depends what you want to do. I got to tell you, you have a really good support system around you, though, kid. You do. You will. You do. And that is what so many people don't have. But he is talking about how there's a feeling like when he walks in the room, the husband, it's like, oh, like you switch to a different person. It's almost like we change to a different person.
That's so crazy. Like everything.
Yeah, that's what happens. This is what they talk about. So
I didn't want him to bring any of this up. Like I was thinking I'd talk about it,
But yeah, I knew he was.
because it's like stuff I don't want to hear. He would tell me, and I just don't want to keep hearing it.
Well, you don't want to hear it because you don't want to hear it because you work so hard to get in this one direction, and god damn it, it's not going to get off course. But I can tell you what, if you keep pushing it in one direction that it's not meant to be, it's going to get far more off course than you ever wanted it to be. So just my best thing would be to do and to tell you is because you are wanting to have this successful family that is here all the way in the future. And so you're living 5 years from now. You're saying, this is what it will be. I want you to live every day and say, these are my wonderful kids. This is my fabulous, amazing mother. This is a man that I loved, and he's not being very great to me. Do I want to continue to have this in my life every day? And then make a decision from there. That's it. Now, do I say anything about like, oh, would kids get taken on one side or the other? I feel like they would go with you. I've had many a relationship that it's like, oh, well, it would go here, or it would go here, or it would go for the male. It would definitely come on your side. I can tell you that. And at the end, if you start to worry about like, oh my God, well, what will the kids think? Will the kids miss their dad? Will the kids do this? The kids may miss him. He'll be in and out, but the kids may miss him for a little bit. But just remember, kids turn into young adults, and young adults turn into adults, and they can soon understand what happened.
Okay. I'll take that all in.
Please, it takes a little bit, but please just remember that. Okay? So, hang on. You're praying for a miracle, but let's just say the miracle is happening right now. And please do with it as what God intends you to do with it, which is why we're all here in this space currently. And go forth and realize that, you know, you're worth a lot more than feeling like a quarter of yourself every single day. You know? It's okay. It's okay. So while I'm here, do you ladies have any questions for me or him, which is through me, but it's him. He's there with you. I'm just the one talking.
So when he left, he was hurting, or he was hurting like prior?
When he left, he was very uncomfortable, but he was hurting prior to leaving. He was hurting prior to leaving.
Okay.
So, but whenever he did leave, it's almost like if you can imagine just laying there and trying to go to sleep. That's what it feels like when you die. You're trying to go to sleep and then you wake up in someplace else and you have this unimaginable pressure and fullness to you. And you're like, I'm just trying to go to sleep. Like that's all I want to do. It feels very uncomfortable, but it's almost like you just go to sleep because you're just done with it. That's how it feels. That's how it feels.
And also, my mom had this feeling
Mhm.
that I gave him too much medicine to sleep because he hadn't slept in weeks.
Correct.
And she's always questioned the medicine that I gave him was from a hospice. If it was too much, like, did that make him go, or he went on his own?
Hold on. It made me feel very comfortable. Was it morphine?
No, it was oxycodone.
Okay, because it's an opioid. Whenever I feel it, it makes me go. Oh. All opioids make me feel the same. I mean, heroin makes me feel a little bit different. Obviously, that's how drug overdoses feel. I feel all talk about dying from meth. That's a whole nother thing. But when he goes to sleep, it's like I said, it's like I'm just kind of like here, and I'm giving in, and then I feel good.
Yeah, because he didn't sleep for so long.
You did not kill your father. You helped him move along because him and his stubborn ass would have stayed there for another 2 or 3 weeks and it would have been terrible. And you would have seen him get worse and worse and worse. And he would have continued on because of the fact that he didn't know how to leave something alone. And so even though mentally he wanted to leave, his body is so used to fighting everything from the pain from that he would have just kept it. So honestly, in a way, it did relax him, and it relaxed him enough to where it allowed him to go. And but did we give him a fatal dose? No. It's almost like you just give him that allows him to relax. Okay. So don't ever say it's negative. It's not a bad thing. And I can tell you that from a personal experience. My father passed last December, and I was the one out of 7 sisters. I'm the youngest, and I said we need to take him off life support, so we did. And they said, how would you like to do that? He was in hospice, and I gave him a half a dose of, it was just I think it was Demerol, And it caused him to relax, and then it caused everything to just move forward. But he had already died once before, and my mom brought him back. And so at that point, it was easy for him to pass on. So, and when I had a dream about him a month later, it was beautiful and he was happy, and it was in the 80s, and it was so random, but there's nothing bad about that. Okay.
Okay.
So did we also bury him?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Was your husband, were there people that carried the casket?
Pallbearers, my husband, my sister. Yeah.
Really? Okay, you don't see that often anymore. That's really cool. Hang on, because he's talking about these guys, and he's talking about associated with you, tied to you, and he's talking about how they're like lifting him. I was like, okay. Hang on. He said, I wasn't good last year. He was still sick last year at Christmas?
He's been sick for the last 4 years, honestly.
Really? Okay, because I asked him, I said, well, what do you feel about Christmas? How do you feel about Christmas coming up? He was like, I couldn't enjoy it. He goes, last year I was so sick. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good. He goes, hang on, babies at my feet. So babies were around him too. Hang on. Beautiful. He said, I always loved your eyes. He's talking about you, Mom. He says, I always loved her eyes. They're so much more than mine. Hang on. So he said, remember, I love you. I'll see you soon. Mom's not going anywhere for a while, but there's definitely I love you. There's I love you all the way across the board. I love you all the way across the board. Hang on. My youngest took it very hard. Who's the youngest?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
It's so bad.
Okay, because he goes, my youngest took it very hard, very, very hard. I said, okay. I'm like, she's not in this room. He said, no. I said, okay. She didn't want to let me go. So she was in the room too when it happened?
We were all there, but she was just not ready. Like, she didn't want him to leave. I mean, we all told him we were ready, and she said, I'm ready, but she wasn't, truthfully, But he was just hurting too much. There's no way.
I know. That was a whole nother thing. He said, we're all good girls. They'll take care of their mom. He goes, he's very, I wouldn't say happy. He is happy, but he's in this area.
He feels good.
He feels good. He just feels, it's almost like if somebody walks in the room with you and you just start talking to them, you're like, are you happy? And they're like, yeah, like that. That's how it feels. It feels very, 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 very normal. Hold on. Who has, okay, no, everybody thought about it, but no, one of them did. Did somebody get a tattoo for them, or is like everybody else thinking about it?
We've been thinking about it for the time we haven't, and she sends us tattoos every night, and we're just like, hey.
Okay, because he's talking about, he goes, and he was like, one is like, oh no, and he was like, one is like, yeah, I'm gonna do it right away, and I'm like, wait, so have we gotten it yet? Because I don't even see an image. He was like, they can't figure it out. Hang on. Can you just do? One wants to do a symbol, one wants to do a name and date. What are we doing?
My mom wants to do like dad with the day he left. I want to do like a feather for like an Indian.
Okay. Cool. Here you go. One wants to do a symbol and wants to do a name and date. Hold on. Why can't you do a feather with the date?
Yeah, that would be cute.
That way you have the symbol, but then you have the date. That way you have both of them. Yeah, merge them both together. Because I see why. One's like a biker tattoo, and one doesn't have enough connection for mom. And we all want to have them together. So why don't you morph it together? Because he definitely is part of an angel. And my biggest thing when he says, I walk with Jesus, which is very cool, which means he was more spiritual towards the end, is that he's cool. He's cool. So what I want y'all to do right now in closing is I want y'all to take 5 or 10 minutes together or separate. Separate's always better because you can always like push out emotion, but I know y'all are pretty comfortable together. Take 5 or 10 minutes and I want you to have a good cry. Okay. I want you to have a good breather. Do it in your own time, but do it in the next couple of days. Otherwise it builds up and you start to get depressed. You, my dear, have a lot to think about. Mom did a bang up job. And she did all the way through. And now mom's like, all right, I'm at the end of my journey. Let's hang out. You're going to hang out with them a whole lot. She's the big person in your life. You're going to see mom all the way through to the end. Are y'all, because he says, it's going to be 2 of y'all. Is there another sister that's kind of like off and on between y'all, like hot and cold? Like, is she or and not, or is she like argumentative and not, or is she like kind of in it and then not? What is that?
Like her sister or my sister?
Your sister. Uh-huh.
Karen, maybe her sister, she kind of, we talk and then, or I don't know. I talk with both kind of, but I talk to my smaller sister more.
Okay, just wait, because gotcha. Because I'm just going off of what he feels later on as she gets older, as mom gets older. You're going to be taking more care of her. Younger one is, but whoever the other one is, it's going to be like on and off and on and off and on and off. It's going to be kind of trying and it's going to really get under your skin, but don't let it. Okay, that's just who she is. She can't deal with it. Mom, you're going to be alive for quite.
I believe.
Okay. So.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I love you guys. I'll send the recording tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon. And then if you have any questions, you'll probably have a dream tonight.
Okay.
Just email me. Okay. And if the sisters want to come in, just let me know. It'd be really cool too. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.